In today's video, we're going to discuss why it's essential to have both JEPY and JEPY in your portfolio for total market outperformance. JEPY is the JP Morgan dividend fund on the S&P, ticker symbol JEPI, and JEPY is the Defiance dividend fund based on the S&P, ticker symbol JEPY. So we earn over $150,000 per year in dividends at this channel, and my performance value shows that I'm up about 27% for the year. So we're beating the S&P, as you can see below. We're up 27, the S&P is up 23, and this is because we're getting both dividends, as you just saw, and capital gains. And I'm going to explain to you how I do that with JEPY and JEPY. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at aikentodd48@gmail.com. So the first thing that you have to understand with your dividend portfolio for passive income and to live the FIRE lifestyle, which is financially independent, retire early, first thing you got to have are dividends, because dividends qualify to banks for loans. And then you got to have capital gains, because you can't just have dividends erode the NAV in your account. If you're just receiving dividends and your account drops by the amount of those dividends, then you're never really getting ahead until you ultimately cash flow that investment. I like to cash flow my investments and double them, obviously, over time, but I also like to get performance every day, and I like to get total performance for the year so that I can increase this available for withdrawal number, okay? You don't just want dividends. Again, you want both dividends and capital gains because they increase your equity, all right? So for every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. This $1 million of purchasing power, I use about $100,000, so we're down to $115,000 in margin debt right now. And my dividends of $150,000 will pay this back in less than a year. And this debt does not show up on a credit check. You can click sell at any time. This is how you qualify to banks for loans. You use dividends to get loans if you're new at this channel. Okay, so my margin debt of $115,000, it's also low interest. I've negotiated that down a couple of times, and many of the clients who bought my e-guides have done the same. So in order to get both capital gains and dividends, first you go with JEPY, because that has the dividends, okay? JEPY has about a 50% dividend, something outrageous like that. So if you go to the snapshot, you'll see here dividend 53%. Now go verify on the Defiance website what the true dividend yield is at this moment, but 53% is a great yield. I mean, obviously you can, just with one click, you're at financial freedom. With the click of a mouse, you just buy these Defiance funds, but they go down by the amount of their dividends. So you have to get both dividends for the banks for the qualifying income, which also pay your bills in a down market, and you have to get capital gains. Now, if you're not getting capital gains because the market's down, well, you need the dividends, but it never hurts to get both dividends and capital gains. And JEPY will not give you much in capital gains. They will give you the dividend, and that's about it. Now, view margin maintenance requirement, it's also 50%. Okay, if you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my volume 3 margin e-guide. So for every $100,000 I put into JEPY, $50,000 of my equity is taken up. But if we go to a snapshot of JEPY, which I'll show you briefly here so that we can get this out of the way, JEPY, JEPI, if we look at the maintenance of this fund, you'll see that it has an 8% dividend, first of all, and the maintenance is 35%. So you can get a lot more equity out of JEPY than you can with JEPY. For every $100,000 I put into JEPY, only $35,000 of my equity is taken up. But for every $100,000 I put into JEPY, $50,000 of my equity is taken up. And this number is very important. See, at this channel, I'm not making videos about ideas, or I'm not making content for your entertainment. I'm simply trying to live the FIRE lifestyle every day. And we're up $3,000 today because we have a total approach here at this channel. I'm going to share with you that total approach towards the end of the video. So you need to get both dividends and capital gains, and you need to keep your available withdrawal high. This number right here, $233,000, is what I withdraw from, okay? Even though my account is at $475 and my debt is at $115,000, I withdraw from this 233 number. So I need to always withstand, I tell myself and clients, 30% corrections at least so that you can withstand a margin call and you can withdraw freely out of your account to live the FIRE lifestyle. So I can withdraw out of my account and withstand over 30% corrections. What's 475 plus my 100,000 in debt? Let's call it 600,000 total invested. What's 10%? 60. What's 20%? 120. What's 30%? 180. So I can withstand over a 30% correction, a 40% correction I could withstand, and still withdraw freely from my brokerage account. Okay, even if you're not using margin debt like me, you need to keep your maintenance low in your funds so that you can keep your available withdrawal high. This is how you withdraw out of your brokerage account, even if you're not in margin. So this is very important. And I use my margin debt to buy anything I want in this world. Cars, clothes, shoes. You can buy anything, again, you want with margin debt. And it doesn't show up on a credit report. So I love having it and living my lifestyle out of my brokerage account. Okay, my lifestyle is all funded through a brokerage account and using margin, okay, and just using a fraction of that margin and having the dividends pay that back. When the dividends pay back the margin, you're left with all these dividend paying assets to yourself, paying monthly cash flow for life. When you pay down your margin debt, to all you newcomers, again, your account goes up by the equivalent amount. It's not like a credit card when you pay down your debt and you go to zero balance. With margin, if you pay your debt down, your account grows again by that amount. So if we earn 150,000 in dividends and my account is, let's say, 500,000, then the next year my account will be 650,000 and my debt will be zero. With credit cards, when you pay back the debt, your balance goes to zero, but your account does not grow. Your equity does not grow. This is how you really get ahead. And I choose to build the equity in my brokerage account instead of through a house with real estate, because I can click sell at any time. I'm more liquid this way. I can maneuver much easier this way. There's less paperwork. There are so many advantages I could list right now to go with investing for dividends over real estate. Okay, so on the X date, JEPY drops by the amount of the dividends. If you go look at a chart of JEPY, you'll see that it goes pretty much sideways while the markets had a pretty monstrous move up. So if we go to JEPI, you'll see that it moves up, left to right on its chart, which is very important. Okay, you see this from 52 to 56. It moves up pretty big. It moves somewhat. Okay, for your 8% dividend, you're also getting some capital gains movement there. But if you go to a total performance of JEPY, you'll see that it's still underperforming its index, its peers. JEPY is the blue line here. So if you look to the legend here, you'll see JEPY is blue and the index is maroon. So JEPY is underperforming the index, and since 2019, your investment of 10,000 will have made you about 15,000, which is not bad. You're up 50% since 2019. But I always prefer Cornerstone, and this video is not about Cornerstone, but Cornerstone's a 5-star fund. JEPY is a 4-star fund, as you can see. Cornerstone's a 5-star fund, and it makes you more on a 10-year chart. It outperformed the index. CRF is the blue, and the index is maroon. CRF outperforms this index. Not this year, but if you look at the total history of the fund, it outperformed the index. So I prefer Cornerstone over JEPY, and Cornerstone has 30% maintenance. JEPY has 35% maintenance. Cornerstone's also tax-free until you sell. JEPY is not. Do I get paid to promote Cornerstone? No. Do I get paid to promote JEPY or JEPY for that matter? No. I'm just giving you the total approach here at this channel. Why am I up 3,000 today, 2,800? It's because of Cornerstone. We're up about 1,000 in Cornerstone today, which this is a small day. Usually we can get days gains of 6,000 to 7,000, 8,000 on a typical day. So this is where I get my capital gains from, and I have 400 grand in Cornerstone, but you have to learn how to play this fund properly. Beware, you have to time closed-end funds like Cornerstone around their rights offerings every year. And that's what my Volume 4 e-guide's about. And when you buy my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for Life, where I update you of my portfolio when I'm not making videos on YouTube. And also we have a Cornerstone rights offering announcement channel where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. Okay, we have over 500 members in the Discord chat who are watching for that announcement too, because it's what stands in the way between us and financial freedom. It's this rights offering in Cornerstone every year. Now, do I fear the rights offering? No, I welcome the rights offering, because that's how you really level up your account. But again, you have to play the rights offering properly, and that's in my Volume 4 e-guide. So you have to combine JEPY with JEPY for total performance, but you can swap out JEPY with either a cornerstone or even an SPYI. You need things that move upward, left, or right. You can go with the triples. I have some triples like Fangu, as you can see here. Fangu just never stops going up. We're up 20% in Fangu. I keep swapping out on my triples because they're high maintenance and they don't pay a dividend, and they're high risk. And the market keeps just melting up here. So I have Fangu for ultimate leverage, because you can have the least amount of money in Fangu and get the most bang for your buck. But again, it doesn't pay you qualifying income. It's 100% maintenance, and it doesn't pay you a dividend while the market's down, and it's high risk. So I have to put a bulk of my money in something, because you have to get compounding power. You can't put a bulk of your money in stocks, because they could blow up on you and they have headline risk. So you got to put them in an index, and you got to put them in something like JEPY, JEPI. But JEPI does not make you enough money on a 10-year chart, as you saw by that Morningstar comparison. So I keep it all in Cornerstone, and then I don't even own JEPY, okay? A lot of people like JEPY, and it makes sense to make a video about JEPY and JEPY, but honestly, you need to have JEPY and Defiance as much as you can, in my opinion. QQQY as well, IWMY. And then you need to combine it with something like a SPYI, which has a higher yield than JEPY, or even a JEPQ. But I just prefer Cornerstone because it has the highest yield. It's a 20% dividend, drips down at the NAV, that special dividend. Most dividends, they drip at the market value. Cornerstone drips down at the NAV every month. So you get free drip gains, you get days gains potential here, and you get a 21% dividend, and it's 5-star, and it's tax-free. So it beats JEPY for a multitude of reasons. And again, I'm not getting paid to promote Cornerstone. I'm just telling you what works in my portfolio. So I hope you liked the video, guys. If you need help doing what I'm doing, email me for my e-guides at akintod48@gmail.com. And if you like the video, click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.